This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is a Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And today, we are going to be talking about the Kyrie minimally invasive surgery that he is having, which just announced today. We're also going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns building around Devin Booker. They just started their coaching hiring process, their search, thank you. And now we are also going to be talking and wrapping it up with Jake, our patron, talking about the Atlanta Hawks and which prospects best fit them in the NBA draft. And of course, we're going to throw in our wet boys as well. But before we do that, check out patreon.com/mostofitpodcast. If you want to be like Jake and be on one of our podcasts, whether it's the Onside Kick, the Primetime Podcast, the Rick and Johnny Podcast, go over to patreon.com/mostofitpodcast and check it out. We have some great stuff over there. Again, the $10 tier, we can be on a podcast. The $5 tier, we can be part of the Q&As, and also the $2 and $1 podcast. You can get a monthly Patreon podcast. The $2 will give you the video. The $1 will give you the audio. We'd love and completely appreciate your support over there. If you can't support us monetarily, we completely understand. You can also check out iTunes and give us a 5-star rating over there. It's extremely helpful for our cause. If you want to go over to the Fast Break, give that 5 stars. The Onside Kick, 5 stars. Primetime Podcast, 5 stars. The Rick and Johnny, 5 stars as well. And also the new podcast, The Outcast, which you should definitely check. It's the Chicago sports podcast. I'm going to be talking Bulls, Bears, Sox, Cubs, probably not the Fire.
And this week, I just want to say, a little spoiler, they did a cool segment where it's like their Take 5, where it's like, but let's say we did, it's like, oh, you're 5 guys that could be like the ones to watch in the playoffs. It should be a good segment moving forward.
There you go. And then also, the final thing, go over to mostvaluablepodcast.com and check out the shirts, because Buzz and Juice just rocked the
Juice
MVP shirts. Juice over there.
I think they are the first tag team to wear
They doubled up?
The doubled up. Because usually we try to be like, hey, are you wearing it? Okay, I won't wear it because you're wearing it kind of.
They called each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called each other and decided what to wear.
Twinsies.
But anyways, let's jump into the podcast. We're talking about Kyrie Irving coming out from ESPN. They say that All-Star Kyrie Irving will undergo what the team is referring to as a minimally invasive surgery on Saturday with the hopes of combating soreness in his left knee. They've been saying that he's been dealing with this for a while. There's no timetable for his return. But I was listening to a couple people's takes today. Doug Gottlieb said something that, at least filling in for Cowherd, that I kind of I kind of sided with. It's something that when it happens, Celtics are going to come out and say, "Oh, it went totally fine, no problems, it was perfect, better than we expected," just to really give the hope to Celtics fans. Again, minimally invasive sounds nice, but anytime you're dealing with a knee, it's going to take away explosiveness. It's going to take away cutting ability. How worried should Celtics fans be about this injury, Ricky?
Well, at first, when I saw the article at work, I was like, you know what? This is going to be fine, minimally invasive. He'll be okay for the playoffs. But then I was watching PTI today, and Wilbon was like, yeah, I had minimally invasive knee surgery a year ago that I'm still trying to rehab over, and I'm not an athlete. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a little bit to this. And the thing I look at is, if this does keep Kyrie out, I wouldn't be like, oh, they're out in the first round, but could be out in the second round. And then if you, depending how things go, I say out in the second round because they could play Cleveland in that round. But let's say they play Cleveland in the next round because of how the seeding, let's see how it ends. I don't think they get past the Cavs without Kyrie on that court, because they couldn't do it last year without Isaiah Thomas, and now they don't have Jay Crowder, they don't have Avery Bradley. And you don't have Kyrie, which is a big one.
No Gordon Hayward as well, because he's been officially they said that he's not going to come.
Season.
Yeah, that he's not going to come back as well. So you're going to be down 2 of your stars. You're not going to have Isaiah Thomas, like you mentioned. The one thing though with the Wilbon thing, Wilbon's 60+ years old. Kyrie Irving's 27, 25, 26.
25.
Yeah, 25, young kid. So I mean, he's got better knees, he's got better muscles, he's got the ability to regenerate quicker than Michael Wilbon.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that it's definitely going to be worrisome. The question that we're posing, though, Dave, are they done in the East? So obviously they're going to be making the playoffs. They're locked up and secured that spot. But are they done? Will it be first round possibly, like Ricky mentioned? He said he's not going to be. It's not going to be first round. But you look at Miami. This is a deep team and a very well coached team in Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, no, it absolutely could be done in first round. I think that the problem is with Kyrie. I just am so concerned about is there a need to rush him back this season? Your money really was on bringing in Gordon Hayward. and the core being around, these two main studs on your team with Al Horford and that young talent. So I don't know that there's necessarily a rush to come back this year, to force it. I think they're rolling with the talent they've got. I think the expectations definitely are different without Kyrie there. And I think you go round one and you're probably like toss up. Honestly, I think it's a straight toss up. We've seen a lot of growth out of JT. We've seen Terry Rozier really step up his game late in this season. So I think you run with the young roster. Let them get their feet wet in the playoffs. Let them get some comfortable. And next year, you go for it. You've got the guys on the roster to go for it.
Well, and real quick, it is Kyrie's birthday today. He's just turned 26, so happy birthday, Kyrie. Weirdly enough,
sad news,
I wanted to check it out. But yeah, turned 26, so happy birthday, Kyrie. Some rough news, but he's got the Uncle Drew movie. He's still going to be hopefully able to play. I think it's something that I don't think he's going to be held out for the playoffs. Knowing them, I think they probably would have went with it because it's a nagging injury, but I don't think it was anything that, again, we don't know the severity of it, but I don't think it was anything that was going to hold him out from playing. This is just trying to get him better and at least, getting over the pain. So I think it's something that he's going to test out. I think maybe he might be out for the rest of the regular season, but I think come playoff time, Kyrie's going to be out there. That's going to be the thing, though, is we've seen, hey, we'll look at the college kids. Michael Porter Jr. wasn't 100%, did not look like the same player. We saw, plenty of years. Steph Curry, when he came back with ankle injuries, he wasn't the same Steph out there. So we know that it's going to be definitely a game changer. But with the Boston team, again, like Dave mentioned, Ricky, this is a team that is not really built around one player. It is more of a team mentality. But how much can that team mentality get you through the Eastern Conference Finals?
If I'm on the thing listening to Dave was when you were saying like let the young players roll in. If I'm a Boston fan, I'm sitting there going, no, I'm not good. Like, I'm not okay with that because if I'm a Boston fan, I'm feeling this was the year. The Cavs aren't as strong as they usually are. The Raptors, yeah, they might be the first seed, but I'm confident my team will go one-on-one with them. Raptors, I'm not saying they will, but Raptor fans, I'm not saying they will, but they could. And then it's like, great. Now we're going to get knocked out second round probably. And the thing that would make the whole playoffs interesting is if Miami and the Wizards flipped and Wizards play the Celtics, then the Wizards, hey, we don't have to play the Cavs until the next round if we beat the Celtics. And then Miami-Cleveland, that's a series I'd want to see. D-Wade going back to – well, no, I'm saying if that switch too.
Right, but you could watch the Sixers take the Cavs spot. Like there's so much still up in the air with such little time left in the season.
And the thing that I wonder is if Kyrie will come back, like when he comes back for the playoffs, if he's going to be that same player. Because the thing with – you mentioned Steph Curry. The one thing that Steph Curry has that Kyrie doesn't have is Steph can rely on KD. He can rely on KD to be the number one guy. Kyrie is the guy in Boston. He is the number one. He is the one that leads this team. That's the whole reason he wanted to, I'm using air quotes, wanted to get traded to Boston and get out of Cleveland, out of LeBron's shadow.
Yeah, and looking at all of this and taking in with this, they were trying to avoid the surgery. Obviously, he missed I think 4 games the knee injury. So this has been a problem that started I think back in March, flared up back in the loss against Houston on March 3rd. So again, it's something that has been nagging him as well throughout his career because it's the same knee that was banged up in the 2015 finals that caused him to miss that year.
Right.
So this is something that not only will affect them this year, but also long term. We see Gordon Hayward, the bad string of injuries there. Obviously, you would rather have a break there because then you just want the bone to heal. You can build the muscle back up. With the knee, that's something that's going to continually linger. So having Gordon Hayward being banged up, having Kyrie going to have to recover as well. Both of your 2 stars, Dave, in Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, having to recover. 26, 28 years old, they're still young guys, but how worried should Boston Celtics fans be with this news coming out that Kyrie is getting more surgery and more work done on that same knee that was hurting him early in his career?
I think they shouldn't be worried at all. I think goose egg on the worries as far as both of their stars being injured. I think the more concerning thing is the fact that they tried to go the non-evasive route with Kyrie and let him, it'll heal through some rest and, just sit some games and just take it easy for a while. I think this is like becoming more of a big thing in the NBA is getting second opinions outside of team doctors because players need to be more responsible for what's best for me and not what's best for this team. And I think that's kind of what's going to be, it's been brought to light a little bit because of IT and now Kawhi. And I think it's going to be more of a topic going forward in the NBA. And I think that, a guy like Kyrie Irving is a guy who, if he's not feeling comfortable, he has that killer instinct. He wants to play. But at the same time, I think he would be smart about it. Like, if this is a knee scope, and that's the thing is we don't have a lot of details yet about this. If it's a scope, he could be out for, a week. He could be out for a couple weeks. And we'll have to see if it's just, let's go inside and take a look and, not touch anything. It could be a different timeline, but I think the answer really comes down to you shouldn't be worried because your two best players are hurt right now. You should be concerned to make sure that they recover 100% before bringing them back, because I'm on the other side from Ricky. Ricky says this year's your year. I'm like, as soon as Gordon Hayward went down in game 1, you're done for the year. Like, write this year off as a year to grow and a year to get better and use these guys as building blocks, because next year, JT exceeded all expectations. Jaylen Brown has really grown another step in this year. I think that your team and Terry Rozier has, again, continued to grow. So you have that young core building, and you've got your two vets hurt this year, but year recovery, they come back next year stronger and better.
Well, and the biggest loss that possibly is on the table for the Celtics is going to be Marcus Smart. But outside of that, you're not losing one of the the starters exactly. You're not losing Kyrie. You're not losing Gordon Hayward. You're not losing Horford. You're not losing Brown. You're not losing Tatum. Those guys are going to be on this team for the next couple of years. So you're not going to be worried about those guys. Smart coming off the bench, he's been a fantastic player for them. But you can always look to bring in a different player. We talked about Kyrie Thomas from Creighton being a guy that could possibly fill in for him in that way if they look through the draft. But looking at it and looking at it, I'm worried if I'm the Celtics, just because, at least for this season, because I don't agree that this was the year for the Celtics, because, Ricky, you're in the boat that LeBron's going to L.A., so that's going to take away the biggest hurdle for them is LeBron James, or if he even goes to Houston, which is another popular popular location, it's still out in the West.
I am taking that bias, though, from me, and I'm removing it, because what if the possibility that he stays or goes to another Eastern Conference team? The thing that I think of, and it was yet again popped into my mind when Dave was like, oh, when Gordon Hayward went down, it was a hit, but I never thought that the Celtics were out of it. I never thought
you thought they were still championship Eastern Conference contenders? I was still
riding with them, especially with everything that was going on with the Cavs. I know they made those trades, and they look better than they did before the trade deadline, but I was looking at the Celtics like, all right, this could possibly take LeBron to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yikes.
Because Kyrie will will that team just to beat LeBron on his own. And the thing that I worry about with this season is, and it depends on what LeBron does. Does he stay in Cleveland? Does he go to a 76er? But will this be the equivalent of what we saw in Major League Baseball of Nationals, really good year, they're going to the playoffs, we're going to shut Steven Strasburg down? I know, different situation because they chose to do that, but you took your best player off. This is the same thing, best player being off the court, and then the Nationals got knocked out in the divisional round. The Giants took over. The Dodgers are what they are. The Cubs are what they are. Nationals can't get back to it. So I would not want, if I'm the Celtics, to fall into that same and look back and, man, 2017, 2018 should have been our year, man. Should have been our year.
But that's just,
I don't want people to look back.
But that's bad luck. Like, that's something that, like, again, like the
National one was a decision. This one's
Gordon Hayward snapping his leg was not a decision. Kyrie Irving, banging up his knee again, it's not a decision. It's just something that, Kyrie's always had a problem with that knee, and Gordon Hayward just had a really bad break.
So Kyrie hasn't played a full season in the NBA. He's an explosive, talented player, but at the same time, I think you know what you're getting out of him, and you're going to get a partial season, and all you have to do is really hope for the best come playoff time. If you have to do like some rest schedule, if you have to break up those games until the NBA decides to split their season fairly, like maybe they just have to be more precautious about his play time because of his play style is so aggressive.
People are going to see this as disrespect, but I'm still going to ask it. Can Kyrie be the number one guy on a championship team?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he's shown,
because with what you were saying, hasn't played a full season in a while. When he did win a championship, he was not the number one guy. LeBron was the number one guy. Can he be the number one guy on a championship team?
I think so, because he not only does he have the biggest thing for me is the mindset, and the decision to move away from Cleveland shows
the kingdom.
Shows that he has that mindset.
Yeah.
And obviously it's different styles. LeBron is the guy on a team where this is a different team, different play style. But still, late game, you're going Kyrie for a shot. Even over Gordon Hayward. Kyrie's the guy that's taking the last minute shot for the Boston Celtics. He's going to have the ball in his hands. He also obviously is one of the most best point guards in the league. He's a dynamic scorer. He's got some of the best handles in the NBA. He's gotten the ability to hit from deep in big-time games. He's a great driver. I mean, he's not the best facilitator, but again, when we're talking about players and taking over and being a number one player, I need a guy who's going to be scoring in that fourth quarter. I need a guy who's going to be able to take over a game. We weren't talking about Michael Jordan's passing abilities outside of John Kerr and Paxson back when he was winning championships for the Bulls. He was the scorer. He was the go-to guy. Yeah. You need a go-to guy. Kyrie's that guy. So that's the thing with me. I think Kyrie can be a number one on a team because he is in a guard-dominant league. Or a ball handler dominant league. He's one of the best ball handlers in the league, and he's a great scorer.
Not on a team, a championship team.
No,
I think he can be the guy on a championship team.
Yeah, he is magic in the lane. He just the control he has, the ability to get to the hoop and to position his body in a really great spot to draw contact, to get to the line. Like, he does everything you want out of a player. The only problem is that health thing, and it's kind of, we see a little bit of Steph. It's a player with similar play style. Steph's obviously a better passer and a better three-point shooter, but at the same time, it's a similar play style. Steph has the ankle injuries, and Kyrie's got the knee injuries. It's just, it's a lot to put on the body.
And I mean, they're different teams too, where I mean, not only does Steph have KD
I'm thinking early Steph.
Yeah.
Like, look, their first run of the championship was Steph was the guy.
But
Clay was the B. And that's what I could see with Kyrie and Gordon Hayward.
And this Boston team is young anyway.
That's why I didn't like your Washington. I don't know enough about Washington to say I don't know if they were prepped for the future.
I was just saying the whole point with that was I don't want this to be the season for Boston where their fans go, man, that should have been the year.
But with the Wizards,
should have been the year.
The Wizards thing, they have three fucking players. Like 3 players. They have John Wall, Bradley Beal, and
I'm not worried about the first round for Boston. It's the second and after.
No, but I'm
getting
saying,
through Cleveland and getting through the Raptors, getting through the finals without Kyrie.
My bad. I thought you meant that when he said Washington, I was thinking NBA.
Yeah, no,
NBA
the
podcast.
baseball thing I brought up.
No, I thought you meant the Wizards. Like last year was their year because now they're down the standings.
That's a question mark team anyway.
But that was the thing. I mean, they didn't have any starts. But like looking at and comparing like at least the Warriors to the Celtics. I mean, again, a young team that you have 2 guys, 1-2, and Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, who can be like the AB on a team. Again, Steph never played a full 82 in his career. Kyrie's never done it as well. And looking back when Kyrie was dealing with that injury back in 2015, that was his worst statistical year. And that wasn't like, he was getting used to playing with LeBron James and K Love. They had him the year prior. So like they already had that experience together. It was the next year. Kyrie was lingered by that injury. He still had a decent year that year. That year he put up 44.8% from the field, 32% from 3. That's not that great, but still scored 19 points. Like obviously he's going to be a different player, but still, if you're getting 19, around probably a little upkick just because he's going to have the ball in a sense more, and the usage is going to be up. But if he's able to put up around 22 in the playoffs in the first round and just shoot like 44% and around 33% from 3, they're going to be able to get past the Miami Heat in my mind. And then it's really, is he going to be near 100% or close to 100%, 95%, whatever it is, to take down the Cavs? And that's the biggest thing. It's not really the first round in my mind because even though Spoelstra's a great coach and he'll be able to really focus in and try to make Kyrie uncomfortable as possible if Kyrie is playing, because again, we don't know the timetable, but let's just assume that he is there because he is a guy that wants to be out there on the floor for his team. It's going to be something that I think Spoelstra can probably game plan around, but also you have Brad Stevens on the other side, so he's going to probably be able to game plan around that as well. So I think as long as Brad Stevens is able to coach around the Kyrie injury, I think it's going to be something that they can at least get through the first round. Then it's really the second and third round when you start hitting Cleveland, Philly, Toronto, when you move on through the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, and like for me, right now, if the playoffs would start today, with a healthy, like 100% healthy Kyrie Irving, I would say, all right, that second round matchup between Celtics and Cavs would be a really good one. I'm not going to say the Cavs would win it outright. It would be a fight to the end. But now with a Kyrie that's either not going to be there or not 100%, I got to go in the boat of I'm back on LeBron. I'm back on the back LeBron train. Cavs back to the finals.
But I mean, this is also Celtics team with other guys out on injury, so it's not just Kyrie. They're down like 3 other guys on top of that. So this is a team that is needing in depth. And if you up against a team who really pushes them to the limits and can stop your one or your that's my concern is when it turns into playoff basketball where you're going game after game against the same team, I don't know if they're going to have enough answers in a series.
Do you think they get back
Kyrie Irving there?
Do you think they get past? Say Kyrie's there, not 100%, but Kyrie's there for the first round. Let's say it's up against Miami because that's the current matchup they got. Are you sincerely worried about that, or would you still pick the Celtics?
I would Boston in 6.
I would still go Boston, but I would be very concerned because I'm not sure matchup-wise what the Heat could do to them with their bigs. Like, the Heat's bigs are pretty impressive, and you look at the Celtics and you go, oh, yeah, Al Horford is kind of abusable down low, so I know he's not as bad as everybody makes him out to be, but, like, you can really do some work. That's all I'm thinking. I would still take the Celtics, though, in that series, but anywhere further than that, I'm concerned because those guys are playing heavy minutes on a bunch of really young guys.
Well, let's focus it this way because, I mean, Cleveland's banged up still. Toronto has unreal depth, and they're like so far, health-wise, they've been okay. Knock on wood for Toronto fans.
Yeah.
But, Cleveland's been banged up as well. Cleveland's been dealing with injuries. They've been a depleted team throughout the past couple of days, and LeBron's been carrying them for the past couple of wins. Even their coaches, not 100% right now.
Coaches,
Ty Lue isn't even on the bench right now for the Cavs. So, I mean, everyone's dealing with these injuries, but let's say Kyrie's 100%, they go up against the Cavs. Are you for sure picking Boston if Kyrie's 100%? Because in my mind, I still think I have LeBron James, I have Kevin Love coming back, and he's looking decent so far.
Good.
It really looks like that hand isn't too fucked up.
Yeah.
And you look at Larry Nance Jr. being able to bring that explosiveness. Jordan Clarkson's a great scorer. Rodney Hood, same thing. And you look at the veteran leadership of George Hill. Like, I still think that LeBron would win over 100% Boston Celtics team. And I still think I'd take him over the.
You're saying
Raptors
100% just with Kyrie. We're not talking about the Gordon Hayward thing because that happened at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
right?
no, like the team that they've been trotting out before
If
March.
Kyrie is 100% going up against the Cavs, it would be hard. I would lean a little bit like in the middle, but I would for sure say it'd be a 7-game series if he's 100%. 7-game series, and I'd probably still pick the Cavs, but I could teeter over into that Celtic green territory.
The thing is just like you have LeBron James. You have the best player in the world. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But like LeBron James is the best player in the game right now. Most durable, most explosive. Like you have to win due to your stars. And LeBron James is the biggest star.
That
He's
would be the biggest story
everything.
if LeBron didn't make it to the finals again.
Yeah, I mean 7 straight years for LeBron James making the finals. This is the best player of my generation. I wasn't a Jordan kid. I was born in '97, so I wasn't around for the Jordan glory days. I had a Wizards Jordan jersey.
Let's see LeBron go and battle in the West, see how he fares out getting to the finals then. I mean, the weak East, man. Anyone can make the finals in the weak East.
But the thing is that, again, you have LeBron James. I'm still picking LeBron James, whether Kyrie's 100%. And now you're telling me Kyrie's not going to be 100%. Kyrie might not even be on the floor. There's no way in hell Boston has a shot if Kyrie's not 100% on that floor.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's why I'm thinking, and this is why this video is titled on YouTube, and this is why it's listed in the topics on Blog Talk Radio. This is why are the Celtics done in the East? Because I truly think if Kyrie's not there and Kyrie's not 100%,
then
they're screwed.
Yeah, they are
absolutely screwed.
If he's not 100%, kiss it goodbye. LeBron's going to the finals again. And I'm sorry to the Raptor fans who might be listening, but prove it to me, and then I'll back your team in the playoffs.
Oh, great. We're not going to have all of Toronto pissed off at us. All of Canada's going to be coming at this podcast.
Picking fights, Ricky. Picking fights. No, I can't disagree. We haven't seen anything to prove otherwise. Like, this is a team who's together for the first time this year. You got to think about how much talent was switched out on this roster. And them going into the playoffs with very little experience now. I'm concerned about the first round, and you're LeBron. Yeah, I'm like, no. Just saying the word LeBron is just no.
And look at last year. Again, like we mentioned in the Eastern Conference Finals, Isaiah Thomas wasn't there. That was a murdering. Outside of the one game that Boston won where Marcus Smart was like, hey, let's go off for 30 points or whatever he did.
Kelly Olynyk just draining threes.
Yeah, like outside of that one game, LeBron and Cleveland dominated. I know Kyrie was on the other side in that matchup, but if Kyrie is not in that game at all, either on the Cleveland side or Boston side, Isaiah Thomas is not on either side either. I'm taking LeBron James. I'm taking the star, and I don't think anyone would disagree. Maybe Boston fans would, but even then, you got to be worried going up against LeBron James without your number one player,
pretty much
Kyrie.
Riley, we looking at you, man.
I think they just go be like, but dude, think about next year. We got you. We got your number.
But even
we
then,
come back healthy, we got your number.
LeBron might
Until
not even
LeBron
be there.
goes to LA.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
But again, this is a team where this is not the year.
That's
You don't
what
need
I'm
to
saying.
win.
They are set up for success. They still have picks coming in. So many freaking picks. I hate this team because of that. But they're built for the future, and they have two guys in their prime who are their leaders. Al Horford is the veteran out there contributing at a very high level. I just think that there's no reason to rush it. If Kyrie doesn't feel comfortable, if he's not feeling good, don't rush him back and risk potential further injury to that knee. That is the least. That's the worst case scenario. Don't even bother, because, like I said, if you're not going to be able to beat LeBron, I'm not saying just shove it in. 29 other teams, fuck that. But like, I think that there's a case to be made to rest Kyrie Irving and make sure next year you come back with healthy Kyrie, healthy Hayward, and everybody else reloaded.
Ricky Widmer, final thoughts?
Are the Celtics done without Kyrie? Yes, plain and simple. Period.
Even if so you're saying not without him for sure.
He's not going to be
But,
100. I don't think he's going to be 100%. So you're done.
All right, David, final thoughts?
Yeah, enjoy the playoffs. Lots of young guys going to get their first glimpse and build up. Maybe we'll see another great Jaylen Brown playoff run.
It's like going to Disney World. Enjoy your time, enjoy your week, and then go home.
Yeah, it's an experience. Build it up, and next year we'll see what you can do.
It might be more than a week.
I wish my boy Ben Bento was still on the Boston Celtics, or like Demetrius Jackson. Get one of those guys. Get them playoff experience.
Scary Terry, baby.
Make their dreams come true.
I say Terry
those were my
Rozier,
boys.
JT are going to be awesome.
Who was the other guy they took from Iowa State? Nader? Abdul Nader?
Yeah, he is awful.
Yeah. 57 pick, second round.
Shouldn't play.
Anyways, my final thoughts are you're screwed if Kyrie's not playing. But I'm in the boat of Dave. It's not all dread. If he's not 100%, you're losing in the second round to Cleveland. If you're the 2 seed, Cleveland's a 3 seed, you're losing in the second round. I think even if you're going up against Philly, you're losing in the second round. It's gonna happen where if you're going up against a team like Toronto, Cleveland, or Philly in the second round, you're losing. It's just plain and simple. Like maybe Philly you can overcome just because Philly
turnovers,
turns over the ball so much, and Brad Stevens can play into that. But even then, talent-wise, without Kyrie, Philly wins. Philly wins that matchup at least talent-wise. So if Kyrie's not 100%. It looks bad for Boston, and it's just going to be wait and see until next year when Kyrie's back and Gordon Hayward's back, and you have Jaylen Brown in his third year, JT in his second year, and then hopefully some nice some nice additions through either trades or through the draft, because they're still going to try to add on, and you still know
not done.
The Anthony Davis talks are still out there, even though he probably shouldn't leave New Orleans because they're going to be going to the playoffs. But anyways, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below.